Horn Technic. It's all about grain. The Hamp Mill in Illerkirchen, Germany, is renowned far and wide for its outstanding processing quality of spelt and organic spelt. Georg Remmele has been working with the DVC2 for 5 years now. Well, we've had a horn machine before, and I was really happy with that machine. But I was looking for one with more power. So I called Horn Technic. They showed me the DVC2 at the factory. We had a test run, and I immediately liked the machine. Then things started to happen very fast. We agreed on the price, and I bought the machine. So you were satisfied with the consultation at Horn? Yes, I was satisfied. We brought our own material to test it, and the result was good. You really have many kinds of spelt, also organic spelt. Yes, organic too. So you probably need an outstanding machine. Yes, of course. Every kind of spelt needs to be processed differently. It depends on where it grows and how it grows, the influence of the climate, all of this matters. So it may be that certain adjustments work well for one batch of spelt, but not for the other, for a different variety of spelt. So you work on the parameters you can adjust. That is, more material or less, more revs on the tumbling sieve or less. So you do not work in automatic mode that often? Yes, of course. But even in automatic mode, you can do adjustments at the control panel. There are years when things are bad. Wet years, humid years, and you can't go full throttle as in a dry year. Then you need to reduce the intake, fewer revolutions, a bit slower. Then it runs smoothly. Otherwise, if you're taking in too much, you'll have a fault report every 15 minutes or so. Then you need to reset the system, and that makes no sense. And the feeding is controlled in automatic mode by the DVC2? Exactly, the feeding is regulated according to the power consumption. If the wattage is too high, the intake is reduced. When the wattage decreases, it is raised again. The DVC2 does it all by itself in automatic mode. How much spelt do you dehull per hour, and which factors have an impact? I do about 600 to 800 kilos an hour. Depending on the quality of the raw material, it may be more or less. And the organic spelt causes more problems, even though it is not treated with pesticides and such. Organic spelt is more solid. The hull sits tighter on the kernel, as in other spelt. And that is a limiting factor. It takes longer, and it needs more power to rub it off. Do you always change the sieve and dehuller at the same time? Yes, I change them at the same time nearly always. Sometimes I think a part is still good, be it the dehuller or the sieve, and 2 days later, I need to change it anyway. So my experience is, it's better to change both at the same time. Then all goes well again. Can you show us a sieve that needs to be changed? You can tell that the sieves are stressed and stale when you can shift them inside the machine. Normally the sieves should stay in place. But if the brace is loose, then the sieve can be moved. That is, it moves or gives. Then you have varying clearances in processing and the output is no longer uniform. So if there are too many husks on the sieve, if you can't clean the material properly, then the sieve is worn. Then you should take a look inside. And you see, okay, my sieve is worn, and probably the dehullers are too. Then you need to change both. How can you tell that the dehullers need to be changed? You can tell by the output on the tumbling sieve. If that is not satisfactory, either the sieve or the dehuller or both are not okay. If you have a dehuller that is rounded down at the sides, then it has done its bit. It needs to be changed. This one is halfway or 3/4 through. Anyway, I wasn't happy with it, so we changed it. How long does it take to change the dehullers and sieve? Quarter of an hour, half an hour at the max. If you also clean or scrape it out, you sometimes have to clean the housing from the dust that builds up. Then it works again. Also, that is sometimes the reason why it doesn't run well, because the housing gets too tight. When the diameter is too low, if half a centimeter of dirt builds up in the rear, then it doesn't work even with a new sieve and new dehellers. Then you need to scrape it out, which takes a little longer, but then it's okay. How often do you check the magnet kit? Basically, I check the magnet kit when I change the sieve. I open it, and I can see the metal pieces that stick to the pipe with the magnets. And while it is open, I remove any metal pieces, screws, and so on. And then it's fine again. What's your advice to a beginner on adjusting the DVC2? To a beginner, I would say run it in automatic mode until you have a feel for it. And the performance will probably be best in automatic mode, as the DVC2 controls the intake by itself. When you run it in manual mode, you may be inclined to over-rev the intake. Then you will definitely have a failure. The DVC2 will cut off since it consumes too much power, and it simply stops. So automatic mode is best and trouble-free. I'd recommend that for a start. How do you process the more demanding organic spelt? I'd get going in automatic mode, and then I have a look at the result on the table. Are there a lot of husks, or only a few? So how wide can I open the outflow? Basically, then I already know what's going on. So if the output is low, then it is running slower. It is running harder, and even then, I let it run in automatic mode for most of the time. I prefer having a lower output with trouble-free operation rather than not noticing the DVC2 has stopped half an hour ago or an hour ago. Horn Technic offers various kinds of sieves. Which one do you prefer? Most often I choose the red sieve. It's not that big, not that small, it's a medium size. I get the best results with that. When the mesh opening is too wide, I have too many grains with husks on the sieve. When the sieve is too small, it reduces the performance or damages the grains. So the red sieve suits us best. It always depends on the raw material. How often do you maintain the feeding auger? Maintenance, well, there's a grease nipple. You could grease it every now and then, and that's it. How often do you clean the DVC2? Every week? More often. I blow off the motor every evening. Sometimes during the day, in addition. I installed a compressed air line right here with a blowgun. As soon as dust builds up, I blow it off. Then it runs smoothly when the dust is gone. So I do that daily, and it's not a big deal. It's done in a minute. What does an ordinary working day with a DVC2 look like? In automatic mode, when it has adjusted itself after startup, when the amount of the intake is okay, when the raw material is uniform, it just won't stop. It keeps going for 24 hours or so. As long as you want it to, 10 or 12 hours, no problem. You turn it off in the evening, and you turn it on the next morning. When the raw material is sound, and there are no foreign objects, it runs all day without issues. It's a cute little machine.